I thought I'd showcase this. I'm taking this video in a storage room here, and this many of these boxes. This is all my Star Wars stuff. As you can see, they got boxes all over the place here. There's other stuff mixed in, like with books and everything else. But I'd like to go ahead and talk about how I'm going to wrap up my Star Wars collection and just figure out what to do with it later. I'm going to call this "The Circle is Now Complete," which is actually a line from Star Wars: A New Hope. And I thought I'd go ahead and go through where this all started and where it ended. Well, I started collecting Star Wars action figures in 1978. The core of my collection was the Kenner 3-inch action figures. In that year, I started the figures. I started the collection with the first 12 figures. They were also known as 12-backs because each package showcased all 12 action figures that were available on the back of that card. By Christmas of that year, I had all 12 figures. Since then, I've collected many, many more until 1987, and I actually stopped, and I went to college, and I earned a bachelor's degree in computer science. And in 1994, they started up with new action figure lines, and I started collecting them again. And since then I've actually sold some figures, and I've acquired new figures, and I sold off all my vintage line, the original ones I got back in the 70s and 80s, and I replaced them all with newer versions. I am done collecting new figures or anything Star Wars related, except for the movies. I'm going to still see about that, but I have about 350 some odd loose figures, about 40 carded, about 972 trading cards, and a whole bunch of other goodies, which would be like ships, little titanium ships, posters, books, magazines, Dixie cups, all kinds of little miscellaneous trinkets and figurines and all kinds of stuff. So I did go with the completest approach, which I was trying to get every figure available. And I found it's nearly impossible to do that. It's like chasing the rainbow. Well, I also wanted to get rare and unusual looking figures. I do have many of those as well, aside from main and secondary characters from the Star Wars realm. I know many collectors stopped and sold their collections off. Well, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my completed collection. It's going to have to be completed because I just have to stop. And I'll tell you why I stopped here in a moment. I'm kind of just panning around and showing all these figures, all these carded figures. I don't know if you can see these over here as well. They're a little dark. Well, I'll go ahead and try to show them as quick as I can here. The TV show. Okay, what I'm doing now is enjoying my collection, and primarily until I can start figuring out how to display them or what to do with them later, I'm just taking what I call action figure theater photos with my action figures, the loose ones especially. And I was heavily inspired by the TV show Robot Chicken, and it kind of is my take on what Star Wars has become, just a series of jokes and gags. I also like to enjoy other collections online, and I enjoy seeing the spirit of collecting in younger people. I will say everyone knows how weird the collecting world has become. Scalpers, high prices, limited availability, and chaotic figure lines from Hasbro has frustrated and confused everyone. When I started collecting these figures in 1978, they cost about $2 to $3 a piece. Now they cost at least $10 a piece, many going for more than that and some way too high. I do want to share these vintage original trilogy collection figures, which some know as either VC or VOTC. Now, what I did was here to say the circle is now complete is, since I started with the original 12-back figures, the original 12, I wanted to go back and collect all those again. I originally wanted to collect the original vintage figures carded, but they sell for a lot of money. They actually sell for about $200 to $400 a piece, so I had to kind of give up on that idea. I just don't have that type of money. What I did was I wrote down what the original vintage line was and then tried to capture that as newer versions. The original vintage in the order that I got them were, and I have them here, there's Luke Skywalker, if you can see him right, Princess Leia, if you can see her, sorry if it's a little dark in here, Chewbacca. Now, he's not a Star Wars version, he does say Return of the Jedi, but it's still the original, it's still the same packaging and the same character. And I got Darth Vader. I got these four first in 1978 in June. By July, I had picked up C-3PO, which is this one here, even though it doesn't say Star Wars, it says Empire Strikes Back. And I got R2-D2 for my birthday in July. My dad got him for me, and he even called me the Star Wars King at that time. I turned 12. They don't have Hasbro never came out with the original R2-D2 as a VC figure, so I don't have him. By that fall, I had picked up Han Solo, this one here, and Ben Kenobi. And then later on, I got the Stormtrooper, if you can see him there. Again, this one says Return of the Jedi, but that's the same packaging as the original Star Wars one. They don't have it out as where it says Star Wars only. This one is a new figure that I got, the Death Squad Commander, or of course what he's known now as the Imperial Navy Commander. It's still the same figure. Let's see if you can see him here. Yeah, you can see him here, and I got him really clean looking. He's unpunched, on card. This one cost me about $25, so he was a little pricier. Some of these have cost quite a bit, but I still got him anyways. By Christmas, I got the Tusken Raider, the Sand People, which is what you see here, and the Jawa. And again, they don't have the Jawa in any form as a VC figure or VOTC, so I don't have them, and I'm going to have to let that go. However, they also come out with later figures for the Star Wars line called 20-backs, and I have 3 of them. I've got, if you can see, Greedo, it says Star Wars, Luke X-Wing, which says Luke Skywalker X-Wing pilot. There's R5-D4. He's an original. And then they come out with a bunch of new ones that just say Star Wars. They were never released originally. We have Han Solo from the Yavin Ceremony. It says Star Wars on it. This one's a custom figure that was never released in This is not actually a Hasbro figure. It's a custom figure. It's Han Solo in Stormtrooper disguise. Somebody had taken a Saga Legends Han Solo figure and made this card up just for him. So I think this is pretty cool. It's a rare figure. There's a Luke Skywalker from Death Star Escape, if you can see him there. This one I just got today. This is Grand Moff Tarkin. I paid $15 for this one, and I'm a little saddened because the box that came in, I got this through Amazon for $15. Whoever sold this to me, this is the last one they had, and the card looks really good. It's clean and unpunched, and the figure looks fine and all the accessories, but if you look, see if you can see here, the blister is kind of damaged. The box was really smashed when I got it. It was wrapped in bubble wrap, so I can't be too mad at the vendor who tried to sell it to me. But I'm a little disappointed that it got damaged. So that's definitely a sign that I should stop. I also got the Sand Trooper from the Star Wars line too. Again, this is the one that was never originally released. And then we got this last guy here. This is the last one of mine. This is just Star Wars only. The Rebel Trooper. Rebel Fleet Trooper. Yeah, that's what he says there. And if you can see him okay. I apologize if the lighting's a little poor in here. At least I got these in star cases so I can drop them. Okay, we go over to the Empire Strikes Back line. I have many of the ones that originally came out in the vintage collection. We have R2-D2 with extension arm. That's the one from Hoth from Empire Strikes Back. This one says Return of the Jedi, but it's the same figure. This is a new one here. That's Dak Ralter. Dak Ralter, who was one of the Rebel pilots who fought on Hoth. They got a Han Solo here who was working on his Millennium Falcon at the time. Echo Base outfit. He's a new one also. I have some other ones here that were supposed to be from Empire Strikes Back, originally vintage, and these are the new versions of it. Princess Leia in Hoth outfit. I've got Yoda. Luke Skywalker, Bespin fatigues. Snow Trooper. Twin Pod Cloud Car. I need a star case for him, so I'm working on that. I have many of the bounty hunters. I've got Dengar. You can see him here. 4LOM. Wasn't able to get Zuckuss. He's kind of hard to get, so I had to pass on him. IG-88. I've got him. Here's Bosk, and then I've got, of course, the bad man himself, Boba Fett. It does say Return of the Jedi on it, but he's supposed to be from The Empire Strikes Back originally. I did get some of the Return of the Jedi figures. These were all originals except for one of them. I have here Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight outfit. He was originally, that was how he looked originally. There is a variation card, but I'm not going to get it. I've got Wolf here, which originally was Klaatu. He was one of Jabba the Hutt's minions. Biker Scout, Admiral Akbar, it's a trap. Gamorrean Guard, now this guy I heard is pretty hard to find, so I'm glad I got one of him. See if we can see him here well enough. Yeah, here he is. There's the Gamorrean Guard. Yeah, he's really detailed looking. Super nice, super clean. I've got Wicket, and he's a little hard to find too. And then, let's see if I can bring him over here where you can see him. There's Wicket. And then the last one I'm going to showcase that was from the original collection is the General Lando Calrissian. And this one's a little hard to find too. And I am never opening these guys. I'd like to hold on to these as a way to say thanks to Kenner and Hasbro for providing a series of toys that went on and on and on. And then I've got this guy here. This is the last figure I'll showcase. R2-D2, and he's from Jabba's palace, and it says Return of the Jedi on it. He's got the little with the little accessories so he can serve drinks on Jabba's barge. So he looks really neat looking. This one's a little hard to find too, but not too bad. I did want to say, let's see here. Okay, I do own 12 of the original 12-back figures, which I just showed you here. 7 of which only say Star Wars on that. And again, I just showed you to make up for the gap. I've got figures that were never released. I do want to say I want to call this an excellent sampling of what Kenner and Hasbro offered the collectors over. Well, you know, it's been 35 years now since I started collecting these. I mean, it's 2013 now as I make this video. That was a long time ago. And there were a few gaps where I stopped collecting for a while for a couple of reasons, but I stuck with it a lot longer than a lot of people have done or probably will do that just are still working on it. I don't have the original vintage figures. You know, back in the 70s when I started collecting these guys, I almost thought about getting an extra one to keep carded. They didn't have star cases like they do on these now back then, but I could have boxed them and just kept them in really good shape. They would have been worth a lot of money now, but I didn't. I was a kid back then, so. But I will say, as this vintage line continued, as you can see, as they went along here, they started out a little rough looking. The original figures, I will honestly say, the original action figures from 1978 were very simple. Very little articulation, very low detailed, wonderful packaging though. I mean, that was all we had back then, but I'll be honest, I wasn't really super happy with them. You know, there was certain ones that looked just terrible. The original Stormtrooper was so rough looking. You can see how nicely detailed this one is. So that was kind of a neat way to wrap this up here. The figures on this line became more articulated and detailed, and the figures themselves looked and could be posed nearly identical to the character portrayed in the packaging. Hasbro did a wonderful job giving these figures that old feel with an updated look. I will say, as the new movies come out, and I wasn't highly impressed with the Clone Wars, but it was hit and miss. It was okay. I do have a lot of loose figures from the new prequel trilogies and some from the new TV show. I'm looking forward to the new movies. I don't know about anybody else's thoughts, but I'm going to give them a try. I'll watch them. I might go and just get them anyways, unless Disney really screwed them up. I don't know. I'm sure I'll get comments on this video eventually, and I'm going to share this on Facebook and an art site called DeviantArt. So if you have accounts over there and you want to check this out too, and you can say hi to me over there. I'm on all three websites. So there are other groups that are on Facebook that do deal with action figures and Star Wars toys and stuff like that, and I'm already part with about half a dozen or so. So I will be posting this video there. And I'm going to wrap this up. This is, I mean, I'm really, the 2 boxes you see right here are what I'm going to store these in. Next month, I want to pick up 2 star cases and a handful of action stands. And I'd like to display what I've got. I don't know what I'm going to do with them in the future. I just really don't know. And I've had some people ask me about what I'm going to do with these. I really don't know. And I've already given a bunch away, and I sold boxes and boxes of vehicles and all kinds of stuff just to tone it down a bit. But I'm going to see what I can do with this. So I figure I'll go ahead and wrap this up here, and thanks for watching.